pay for your blue check? No, I wish you'd just take that shit away now so people stop thinking I actually pay money on Twitter. It's fucking embarrassing. Of course I don't pay for my blue check. I wish you'd finally just get rid of that shit. Doesn't it say whether it's a paid blue check or not? I know it used to. I don't know if it still does. Are you still doing the AI generated music video? I still want to. It's just not an easy thing to pull off. At least not effectively. Trashing it and you don't even know? What about whether or not it still says if it's paid for or not? What are you talking about, man? Why does that matter? Because I don't remember if he took that away or not with all the amazing changes he makes every 5 minutes. Now all of a sudden I'm no longer allowed to talk about the silly shit that he does as well? Because I don't know if it still says whether or not it's paid for? What does that take? Twitter changes every 5 minutes. He's already walked back on his first statement of, like, I care about free speech so much it extends to the guy who tracks my jet. And then today he just banned that account. Like he's constantly changing everything on there. It's hard to keep up. Oh, did he ban the Jeff Bezos one? Because the Jeff Bezos plane tracking account was still up last I checked. It's the Prime Trash and Dins, which I think is run by the same guy. They're both up, you tool. Oh, wow. Why do people just deny, like, actual, easily researchable things? Let's see. What was the guy's name? Jay Sweeney, I think, right? No, it wasn't Jay Sweeney. What the fuck was his name? Was it Jack Sweeney? Oh, there it is. It was Jack Sweeney. At ElonJet Twitter account suspended and Jack Sweeney's personal account too. Like, if you don't want to just believe what you see on Twitter, you can go to any of the 5 million sources talking about how he's now gone back on his big word about free speech and how it extends to even people that pose a threat to him with their free speech. Why do you bother fighting for him when you don't do the bare minimum of confirming whether or not you know what you're talking about? Like, you can swallow the meat all you want, but at least get your, like, statements accurate. Pretty sure that's bait. I have no idea, man. It's hard to tell with the Elon meat swallowing. You never really know for sure. I do think he's done some good things for Twitter, though. When it comes to, like, the combating child porn, it looks like he's actually taking that seriously, which is something Twitter never did. So that's good. I think that's a good thing. But overall, it's been kind of a clown show. Thanks, Resub Puma. He fired the child exploitation team. I might be misunderstanding your statement. One of the lead guys on the Twitter trust and safety team tweeted out some real suspicious shit. He tweeted out an article called "Can High School Students Meaningfully Consent to Sex with Their Teacher?" And then he also made an entire thesis on, like, why kids, or teenagers should be like allowed on Grindr. That was the head of the fucking trust and safety team at Twitter. So him being fired, I'm not shedding any tears over. That's misinformation. It's on his Twitter. It's literally on his Twitter. What do you mean? I looked at it myself on his Twitter. What's his name? It was like Eli Roth? What the fuck was his name? What the fuck was his name? Oh, here we go. Twitter's ex-safety head flees home after Musk's child sexual... Jesus, why can't I read that because it was cut off? Child sexualization smears. What smears? It was on his own Twitter. I looked at it on his Twitter account. Musk shared an excerpt from Ross' 300-page 2016 PhD dissertation on Grindr titled Gay Data. I didn't read the entire 300-page thing, but I did skim it. Like, it was talking about teenagers and Grindr, and it wasn't, like, condemning it. And then the article he tweeted out was literally called, Can High School Students Meaningfully Consent... Oh, it was Yol. Meaningfully consent to sex with their teacher. I think he tweeted that in 2010? Is it still there? Like, that is some weird shit. Out of context. The context was a teacher fucked their student. She was 18 or something. But the title is still very... Like, that is still not something that the head of safety of Twitter should be engaging in. Can high school students meaningfully consent to sex with their teacher? But she's 18. A teacher should still not be fucking their high school student. The answer should still be no. Yeah, high school students cannot meaningfully consent to sex with their fucking teacher. Like, no matter how you spin it. Was that his stance? The conclusion that it draws is that it's in like a gray area, if I remember correctly. Thanks for 10 gift subs, Dong. Appreciate it, man. You see there's going to be a live-action God of War? I just learned about that from chat. I didn't know they were making live-action God of War. That'll be hype. That was not the conclusion of the article. I must be getting it mixed up with his thesis then. What was the conclusion of the article? Here, let me look. Can high school students ever meaningfully consent to sex with their teacher? Let me read this again. Well, let me go through it again real quick. No, that is exact. What do you mean? That's not what they are. That is like almost exactly what it draws. Like the closing statement. Of course, teacher-student sex is a controversial topic, even with students over the age of 21, and many colleges have banned hot for teacher hookups. Don't legislate those relationships from the outside, though, because we're talking about legal consenting adults, things get messier when looking at cases like that guy's. If we draw the line at high school graduation as opposed to a student's 18th birthday, it means a teacher having sex with a 20-year-old high school student could still be outlawed, even though someone of the same age could legally engage in sexual relationship with a teacher if they were in college. Easy to understand the frustration of the dissenting judge in the case who wrote that the majority opinion does not ultimately make sense. That is the very definition of he leaves it, or this article leaves it in a gray area. What are you talking about? I didn't even misremember it. Like, no matter how you spin it, even if it was... And it also talks about the age of consent law in Washington being 16, which you're getting into some real dicey shit if you're trying to make an argument about, like, 16 and your high school teacher. But like, regardless of how you spin it, a teacher should still not be fucking his high school student, no matter what. It doesn't matter if they're 18. Like, it doesn't matter. Now you're just being a fucking weirdo. The article saying that it's technically legally allowed, right? But that it ultimately, or that according to the judge, ultimately it doesn't make sense. Again, the article is talking about the gray area basically, and how messy it is, and using this case as its basis. Thanks to resub Carrie Lopez, Sunny, and Tier 1 Bell. It's also about the power dynamic between a teacher-student relation. Like, I don't even think you need to even mention the word power dynamic because it's so implied. It is a fucking teacher that is fucking a high school student. Like, no matter what, it is bad. Even if that high school student is 18. Talking about it being 16 here, 16 and 17, I don't think I even need to explain why that, under no circumstances, should be okay. But regardless, like, I don't even think you even need to bring up the power dynamic. It is a fucking teacher and student in high school. Bad. Very bad. Thanks to 5 gives subs Freese and the resub George and Lol and Swag and Cinny. I don't understand how that's like a hot take. That's like the most basic take imaginable. God damn. I don't know if we have like 16-year-olds in here that have a hot teacher that they want to fuck and want to like somehow make it seem like she should be allowed to, or if we have like actual predators in here, like god damn. What the fuck? Good lord. Yucky. But yeah. Can't say that I'm super upset that guy's not with Twitter anymore. Especially since they weren't doing anything about the child porn on Twitter for a while anyway. So they weren't really even doing their job. That's probably like the only good thing Elon's done so far for Twitter. Thanks to the resub. Hispanic man in the bits goodness and thick. Why do people always bring up age of consent laws in certain states? Yeah, I don't know why that one always comes up, man. I couldn't tell you. You seen Logan Paul beefing with Andrew Tate? I've seen Andrew Tate trying to start shit with Logan Paul. Has he even responded? He just calls him like a steroid weirdo or something. Seemed kind of desperate from Andrew Tate. Thanks to the resub Naruto. Alright. I heard Tiana go to bed. I'm gonna go say goodnight real quick. I'll be right back. Thanks to the bits butter.